Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, whatever time of day it happens to be for you as y'all are checking in. Shout yourselves out in the comment section. Tell me your name and location. We're going to get into this conversation, much needed conversation that we had to have today. It was actually something that somebody said that led to this topic, but I'm glad they said it because this is something that I should have said a long time ago. I'm glad they said it, and we're going to get into this. And I'm going to tell y'all how this applies directly to you, what you are doing, your goals, your outcomes, all of that stuff. So as y'all are coming in, again, shout yourselves out in the comment section, and we are going to get into it. I am live on Facebook as well, by the way. So any of you who is a Facebook user, or for whatever reason you want to get on Facebook, just go to facebook.com/workonyourgame, Facebook/workonyourgame. That's where you can consume this broadcast, at least while I'm live on Facebook at Facebook/workonyourgame. But if you are on Instagram, it's all good. Same way, you're getting the exact same material. So for those of you who don't know me, my name is Dre Baldwin. Many know me as Dre all day. I'm a former 9-year pro athlete, author of 33 books, done 4 TEDx talks, created this whole brand called Working Your Game, where we take all the tools to help athletes get to the top 1% in sports, and we translate those tools over from the sports world to the business world to help professionals like you perform at a higher level, be more consistent, and make more money. We do that through your mindset, your strategy, your systems, and the accountability. What we're going to talk about here today. I actually saw this today. Somebody had sent me a text message. And by the way, if you're not in my text community, my text number is 305-384-6894. I'm going to put that number in the comments here on Instagram, but this comment is going to get pushed down as more activity happens here. So those of you who are on Instagram watching this, just go to my bio and you'll see the number in my bio, or you can just scroll up. You'll see the number 305-384-6894. I can't remember who this was that sent it. Actually, was it this person? I'm just trying to see. All right, yeah. So this person right here sent me a text message, and they said that they're in business, right? And I'm asking them, well, what are you doing? Like, what's the process? What business are you in? What do you need to do next in your business? And they said, I'm in the process of learning what business is, and I've been watching your videos, applying stuff, and I've been applying things at my own pace, but progress is progress anyway. It's been helping me tremendously, and I need to. And then they start talking about some of the things that they need to do, and just in that little bit, it triggered a thought in my mind that a lot of people talk like this. A lot of people say things like this. They say, well, you know what, Dre, I'm working on this outcome, this thing that I want to do. I want to make it to the NBA. I want to lose 20 pounds. I want to make 50% more money this year than I made last year. I want to get my business off the ground. I want to launch my podcast. I want to finish writing my book. People talk about all these things that they want to do. And I ask them, and I start asking them questions just to figure out, okay, where are you in the process of actually doing these things that you're talking about? Which is a logical question, right? If somebody tells you that they're doing something, you want to ask them, okay, well, where are you in the process? Somebody tells you that they're writing a book. What's your next question? You might ask them, okay, well, what's the book about? Or who's the book for? Or, then you might start asking questions about the book. Like, okay, well, how far are you with the book? Anytime somebody tells me they're writing a book, I ask them, how much have you written? All right, what percentage of this book is done? When is the book launching? Who's the book for? Who are you going to sell it to? How are you going to sell it? I ask these questions because this is just the way that I think. And naturally, as a coach and consultant, these are the kind of things that I want to know because I'm very interested when people tell me that they're doing things. I want to find out if they're really doing them. So I start asking them questions. And often people will say things similar to that text message that I just read. People will say, well, I'm doing it at my own pace. Or there's some version of that wording. I'm doing things at my own pace. What does that mean when somebody says that? And this person kind of said it. They added the context clue right after that. They said, progress is progress. All right. And what does that mean when somebody says progress is progress? That means I'm moving very slowly and I'm not really moving with any type of urgency, but I am making some kind of progress. So that's the way of me making myself feel good about the very slow progress that I'm making. I'm here to let you know. I'm here to let all of you know that is bullshit. Make sure my mic's on. Y'all can hear me, right? Okay, that's bullshit. All right. Progress is progress. No, it is not. It technically is, but it's not. It is and it ain't at the same time. What do I mean by that? You moving at your own pace is too slow. I don't want you doing things at your own pace. Everybody who's watching me right now, I don't care if you're watching this on replay or you're watching this live, you moving at your own pace is too slow. You are not moving fast enough. Your pace is not fast enough. And I'm going to tell you why all of this matters. So anytime you tell yourself or you say to somebody else, I'm working on X, Y, Z, and I'm doing it at my own pace. What does that really mean, and why is it a problem? That's what we're going to talk about right now. Point number one. Let me ask you this question. Why do all the best performers you know or know of, why do they all have coaches and trainers and experts around them? Why do they all have coaches and trainers? Somebody know the answer to that question? The reason why they all have coaches and trainers. Let me ask another question. Why do the biggest, most profitable, most forward-moving companies out there all have multiple high-level people all working there together instead of just one person who's just a genius doing everything by themselves? Why do all the high-level performers and high-level companies and high-level entities we know of have more than one person? They have multiple people all working kind of as a system of checks and balances with and against each other in a positive way. Why is this? Because when you have a coach around you, folks, a coach is going to push you to do things that you would never do on your own. A coach is going to push you to do things faster than you would do on your own. A coach is going to push you to do things that you simply would not want to do if you were left to your own volition. This is the reason why you get coaches around you. And when you have other high quality people around you, you get a lot more done than you can get done on your own. Because one simple reason is because you only have two hands, you only got two eyes, one mouth, and you can only be in one physical location at a time. But if you have multiple people working together, then you could be over here doing something. You got a partner that's over there. You got somebody else who's over here. You got somebody else who's over here. This is why the most successful companies that you know of, there are multiple people at the top doing things, not just one person just doing everything by themselves. And any of you right now, even if you're not in a position to have a bunch of people working with you or for you in your company, you are a business to yourself. Do you have someone around you who is going to push you to do things that you would not do on your own? This is a question that you should be asking yourself. And actually, not even because that's a yes or no question. If you don't have this person, the question is, why don't you? Do you have someone around you in your life who is pushing you to do things that you would not do on your own? Any of you who's ever had a trainer in the gym, that trainer in the gym probably had you doing some stuff that you didn't want to do. They probably made you do more repetitions than you would have did if you did that same workout by yourself. They had you do exercises that you didn't even know existed until they showed you how to do them. There are times that you probably went to the gym and you got there earlier or stayed later or went when you weren't even thinking about going. And on days that if had you been by yourself, you wouldn't have got to the gym that early. You wouldn't have stayed that late. You wouldn't have worked that hard. You wouldn't have burned that many calories. Maybe you would not have even come to the gym that day if you didn't have a training session that you need to show up for. This is the value of having someone else around you who is going to push you further than you're going to push yourself. And that's why this is so important. And this is why every high level performer has these people around them. And every mediocre and low level performer, usually they became mediocre and low level because they're doing everything on their own. And listen, this whole brand is called Work on Your Game. All right. So I'm all about you working on your game and you taking complete ownership of your situation. We call it the 51-49 rule. You got to have a majority stake in your outcomes and your success in life. So it does all fall back on you at the end of the day. However, that does not mean you need to be 100% responsible or 100% in charge, let's say, of every single thing that's happening in your life simply because you are not skilled enough to be 100% in charge of everything happening in your life. You ain't skilled at everything, so how are you going to be in control of everything? If you are, then you're losing money right now because you ain't good at everything. You should be in control of the things that you're good at. You should have other people in control of the things that you're not good at, that they are good at. So everybody is filling in the gaps for everybody else. Y'all understand this? And this is the example that I used. I've talked about this. You look at somebody like LeBron James. Everybody knows who LeBron is, right? And he famously, years ago, he put his friends on to be his business partners. So one of his business partners is like his personal assistant / concierge, does everything that LeBron needs, so he doesn't have to do it. Then one of his guys is an agent, and they have an agency. He has an agency. Then another one of his guys handles like the business off the court stuff that's not basketball related. And then LeBron handles the basketball stuff on the court. And that's the golden goose that lays the golden eggs. But everybody is in their right place doing what their job is. Now imagine if he was trying to do all those things at the same time. Everything would suffer because he ain't good at everything. And then every minute he spends away from what he's great at is less time that he's given to the thing that he's great at. So he gets fewer golden eggs laid by that golden goose because he's not feeding the golden goose the way it's supposed to be fed. You see how all this stuff works together. So all of you right now, you got to have people around you who are going to push you, because if you do things at your own pace, you're going to do them too slow. Your pace is too slow. Everybody understand this? That's the theme of what we're talking about right now. Okay. A good coach or trainer will help you get triple the results in half the time. That's what a good coach or trainer will do. And this is why everybody needs one. If you don't have one, your results are going to come too slow. And then when you go up against, or you have to compare your results to that of someone who has a good coach or trainer around them, they're going to have more results than you have. And they did it in faster time than you did. And it's going to keep getting further and further ahead of you because you have not set yourself up for success. When you set yourself up as being the only person doing everything in your life or in your career or in your business, you are setting yourself up to fail. And I just explained to you why, logically, why you're setting yourself up to fail. Because you don't have the skill to do everything. If you could do everything on your own, then we wouldn't have things like social media. What's the point of social media? Well, I need to talk to anybody if I could do everything by myself. We wouldn't need to talk to anyone. Everybody would just live, out in the woods in a cabin by themselves. There's plenty of space in the world that all of us could be spaced out and not need to talk to another human being. The reason why we socialize is because I can leverage you, you can leverage me. Everyone can leverage each other. That's how we have society. That's why it's society. We're all socializing. And the reason we do that is so we can leverage each other, and leverage each other's abilities. Point number 2. We're talking here today how your pace is too slow. So anytime you tell yourself, I'm doing things at my own pace, that means you're doing things too slow. Your pace means, let me tell you what this means. I'm going to translate what this means. Any of you ever use this phrase, or you find yourself using this phrase right now. Doing things at your pace means staying in your comfort zone and doing what's convenient for you. That's what it means. When somebody tells me, well, yeah, I'm gonna do that, Dre. I'm gonna finish getting my book out there. I'm gonna launch my business. I'm gonna start my podcast. I'm gonna lose this weight. I'm gonna do XYZ, whatever the thing is, but I'm gonna do it at my own pace. Whenever somebody says that to me, I know what that means. That means they want to stay in their comfort zone and do what's convenient for them, which means it's going to take them really long to get to it, if they ever get to it. And they only want to do the stuff that's easy and safe for them. They're never going to do the hard parts of it, which means that they have an ambitious goal, it's never going to happen. That's what it means. Any of you listening to this right now, you have ambitious goals and your plan is to do things at your own pace. I'm gonna be Miss Cleo. Y'all remember Miss Cleo? What they call her, the psychic that used to be on like those infomercials back in the day. I'm gonna play Miss Cleo and I'm gonna predict your future. You have an ambitious goal and you're gonna do things at your own pace. Here's the future. It's not gonna happen. I'm telling you right now, it's not gonna happen. And I'm not even telling you anything that you don't know. You already know that it's not going to happen because if you look at your goal and you look at when you started and you look at the pace that you're moving at right now, you just do some simple math. You can see that at your current pace, you are not going to reach the goal before whatever age you think you're going to die. You ain't going to make it. You ain't got enough time. Some of you at the current pace that you're moving, given your goals, you're going to reach your goal when you're about 150 years old. And I don't know the last time I heard of a person who even made it that far. All right. And this is the problem with doing things at your own pace. This is why you have to get people around you who will push you to do things a little bit faster than you would do them by yourself. All right. This is a failing formula. You don't want to do things at your own pace. It's a formula for mediocrity at best and abject failure at worst. So anytime somebody tells me they're doing things at their own pace, they're basically saying, don't push me, don't prod me, don't question me, don't ask me to step outside of my comfort zone. Don't try to make me step outside of my comfort zone. I just want to do things my way, and my way is slow and steady. All right, you know that fairy tale, I guess we call it, of the tortoise and the hare, where it was the rabbit racing against the turtle, and the rabbit started off really, really fast, but then the rabbit got tired and had to go take a nap, and then the tortoise was walking really, really slow, but it was very steady, and then the tortoise just walked right past the sleeping rabbit, and it beat the rabbit in the race. Y'all know that story? The story of the tortoise and the hare? All right, that story is complete bullshit. That does not happen in real life. In real life, the rabbit destroys the tortoise. The tortoise is not even in the race. The tortoise doesn't even enter the race because it knows it's not going to win. And many of you are the tortoise or the turtle. Many of you are the turtle in real life. And in real life, slow and steady does not win the race. In real life, fast and steady wins the race. You are moving with urgency and you are doing it consistently. So it's not be fast or be slow and steady. Be fast and you'll burn out, or be slow and steady and you'll win. No, that's not the way real life works. All right, that's a good fairy tale. Cool story, bro. But that is not how it really works. All right, that's a kindergarten story. In real life, you need to be moving with urgency, speed. You need to be pushed to stay urgent and stay moving with speed, even when it's uncomfortable for you. And you need to do it consistently. That's how you win the race. So in real life, the tortoise and the hare ain't happening. All right, so any of you who remember that story, all right, go ahead, read it to your kids. But make sure after you get done reading that story to your kids, when they're old enough to understand, let them know, all right, that ain't real life. All right, that's just a little story that I told you, just so you can be quiet and take a nap so I can go back to work. But in real life, this ain't the way that it works. In real life, you better have some pace and some urgency, and you better do it every single day, because that's what your competition is doing. And the people who are beating you right now are faster than you and they're more consistent than you. That's it. The problem with this whole doing things at my pace is that your pace is not fast enough to get you your desired outcome before your death. Again, like I said, many of you are on a 150-year plan to achieve your goals, and that's too slow. You ain't going to get there. You're going to die. You ain't even going to be halfway to your goal. Right now, you are too slow. Everybody got me? Point number 3. Today, we're talking about why you doing things at your own pace is too slow. It is not good enough, and you need to make changes. Number 3, your own pace is not the solution. So sometimes people say this to me. They say, yeah, I'm going to do it, but I'm going to do it at my own pace. They say that like that's it. Like they have solved the problem. Like, yeah, I solved the problem. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do it at my own pace. I'm going to put my podcast out. I'm going to do it at my own pace. I'm going to finish writing my book at my own pace. I'm going to finish putting together my business plan. I'm going to do it at my own pace. All right. Your own pace is not the solution, ladies and gentlemen. Your own pace is the problem. That's the problem. You doing things at your pace is the reason why you don't have the goal right now, because you're too slow. That's the problem. That's not a goal. That's the problem. That's the thing we got to fix, not the thing that we solve it with. See, the law of inertia states, and this is a law, it's a scientific law, which means it cannot be violated. An object in motion shall remain in motion, or an object that is not in motion shall remain not in motion until or unless acted upon by an outside force, which means what? It means that you are in a state of inertia right now. Most human beings live their entire lives in a state of inertia, which means you get to a certain way, you grow accustomed to a certain way of moving about, a certain way of behavior, and you just keep behaving like that for your entire life. And you never consider it, you never examine it. Even if you hear somebody like me, like I'm doing right now, pointing it out to you and saying, hey, the way you're moving right now is too slow, you keep doing it. Why? Because the inertia is stronger than my words. See, you've had that state of inertia for, if you're 29 years of age, all right, you've been moving at that pace for 29 years. I've been talking to you for 17 minutes. Now, which one do you think is going to win? 29 years against 17 minutes. 29 years is going to win. So your inertia is stronger than anything I could possibly say. This is why that outside force has to be strong enough to overcome the momentum that you already have going. And momentum can work positively as well as negatively. Usually when momentum is working negatively, we call it stagnation, but it's the exact same thing. And when momentum is working in a positive way, we call it momentum, but both of them are different ends of the same spectrum, which is called inertia. And again, that is a scientific law, which cannot be broken. It cannot be violated. So any of you who has nothing going on right now, you're going to keep doing that nothing until you overcome your inertia. And any of you who is doing something right now, even if the something that you're doing is not serving you, you're going to keep doing that thing that's not working until or unless you have a stronger force that overcomes that state of inertia. That's why this is so important. So you moving at your own pace is a form of inertia, because your pace is the pace that has gotten you this far in life. So here's my question. Looking at where you are in life right now, do you have everything that you want? Most people's answer to that question is no, which means, doesn't mean that you're a bad person, doesn't mean that you're wrong, doesn't mean you should go beat yourself up. What it means is you need to get other people around you who can influence you in some way to push you to have a stronger sense of urgency and to get things done faster, better, and more efficiently than you have gotten things done up to this point. Because if you keep doing things your way, you ain't going to make it. You're not going to make it to your goal before you die. This is the problem. The pace that you're comfortable with is usually not fast enough to get you where you want to go. This applies to all human beings, by the way. This is not just, it doesn't mean this is not just for people at a certain level of achievement. This applies to everybody. So I used LeBron earlier in this episode. Look, this applies to LeBron the same way it applies to you. Even if you don't play basketball, it applies to him as a ball player. And guess what? I guarantee you he has a bunch of trainers and nutritionists and people who help him keep his body in shape and his game tight and all that. And we already know that, right? There's articles about it. Then him and his team probably put the articles out themselves. So let everybody know, look how hard LeBron works. Look how much money he spends on his body. Why? I mean, it's part of the narrative they want to build around him. But the whole thing is the reason that he's so good and been so consistently good is because he has other people around him who move him to do stuff that he would not do if he was doing everything on his own volition. And this is what I mean. High-level performing individuals have people around them who are pushing them to be urgent and pushing them to do stuff that they would not do by themselves. You might know about it. You might not know about it. I'm using the example of a person who we know about it because they put their own stories out there telling you what they're doing. But there are other people out there who are high level performers. They don't go announcing who their people are, but I guarantee you they have people. Now, the question is, who are your people? And looking at your situation, if your only person is you, that's the problem. That is a problem. If your only person in your business and your career for your growth right now, if your only person is you, that is a problem. That is an emergency. You need to fix that ASAP. That the fact that you're your only person is the very reason why you're not close to your goal right now. This is the very reason. This is the problem, folks. So anybody you see who is performing at a high level consistently, again, you might think that they're just this rare person who just outworks everybody. No, they are not. They got other people around them. You might know about it. You might not know about it. But I guarantee you they got other people. It's not just them doing everything and they're just outworking the world. That's not the case. That's trust. Thank you. They have help. Hardest working, most productive, most disciplined, most efficient people you know of have help. Again, you might know about it. You might not. Now, if you are not working as hard as you want to be, you are not as productive as you want to be, you are not as disciplined as you want to be, and you are not as efficient as you want to be in your life right now or in your business, it is because you are doing things at your own pace. That's one of your biggest problems. Your pace is the problem. We got to fix that. And the way we fix your pace is not by you reminding yourself to work hard and get motivated, or you go watch some motivational speaker video on YouTube. I'm not saying you can't get value from that. You can, but the way you actually change it is to get other people around you who are going to consistently move you to a state of urgency that you cannot consistently move yourself to. Again, remember the law of inertia. It's hard for us to move ourselves out of that state, our normal state. You can condition yourself for it. And there's a way to condition your mind. I wrote a book about it called The Mental Workbook. You can see it right there. And also in my university and the Work on Your Game University program, I teach you how to do this and coach you on how to do it. But your own pace, that's the exact thing that we're fighting against. So if you're moving at your own pace right now, stop doing that. Go find somebody who will help you to move out of moving at your own pace, because that is your biggest, probably one of your, I would say in the top 5 is one of your top 5 biggest problems. You moving at your own pace. So anybody got a question, put it in the comment section right now. I'll address questions in a second. Nigel Pugh, what's going on? The Chosen One, what's going on? Good afternoon. I thought I saw something else in here. Did I see anything else? Maybe I didn't. Oh yeah, Travawad Allah. What's going on? Good afternoon. So let me recap these points of what I just talked about. We're talking about why moving at your own pace is not what you want to do. All right, this is too slow. You ever said that I'm working on something, but I'm doing it at my own pace? What that really means is, and I'm explaining that here today. Number one, all the best performers have coaches. All the top performing businesses have multiple people at the top working together. Why? Because the highest performing people get pushed out of their comfort zones to do things that they otherwise would not do. Number two, moving at your pace means staying in your comfort zone and doing what's convenient for you, which is fine. You have a choice to do that if you want to do that with your life. The problem is you are not going to achieve your goals before you die. Most people, again, are on a 150-year plan to achieve their goals. That's how long it's going to take you to achieve a goal, because you're moving too damn slow. Number three, your own pace is not the solution. That's the problem. So anytime you say I'm doing things in my own pace, that means you are setting yourself up to fail, because your pace got you to where you are right now. So look at your life right now and ask yourself, am I where I want to be? Answer for most people is no, I'm not, which means your pace has already proven to be a failing strategy. So you need a different pace. Your pace does not work. Get someone else around you who will keep their foot in your ass to move faster than you want to do things that you never would have thought about doing, to make changes that you never would have thought about making, so that you can actually get to your goal, even if it means dealing with a little bit of inconvenience and discomfort in the process. Because we all understand the concept of the comfort zone. All the success is outside of your comfort zone, right? Everybody agrees with that. Yet most people spend their entire lives fighting to stay in their comfort zone. So tell me how that makes sense. Nobody can tell me. Nigel said, what if your pace is quick though? So the question is not whether or not your pace is quick. The question is your pace getting you to the outcome that you want? If you're getting all the outcomes that you want right now, then you should be teaching other people how to do the same thing that you're doing. If you're not getting the outcomes that you want, then that means your pace is not working. It means your pace is not working. So it's not necessarily that I titled it, your pace is too slow, but sometimes your pace can be quick. Would you be going in the wrong direction? Or is your pace taking you where you want to be? Do you have the outcomes that you want right now? If you do, then you should be teaching it to other people. If you don't, then that means something about your pace needs to be adjusted. That's the point. So only you can answer that question. And then you make your adjustments as necessary. And this is why we lay out having your goals clearly defined. When your goals are clearly defined, it's easy to look at your actions and look at the results of your actions and say, all right, here's where I'm at. This is working. This is not working. But if your goals are not clearly laid out, then it's hard to even answer the question, are my current actions working? Because you don't know where you're going. There's nothing to measure it by. That's why you got to have clear goals. And you got to have measurable outcomes so that you can look at your stuff and say, all right, this is good, this is not, this is good, this is not, this works, this doesn't. But if you don't have clear goals, then you can say yes, you can say no. How do we know? We don't know. And this is the ambivalence that a lot of people end up in life simply because they have no measuring sticks to their actions. They just do stuff. All right, it feels good. I feel okay about it, so I guess it's working, I guess. And then this is how most people's lives is like this. Just like a shoulder shrug. I have no idea. They don't know. Ask them questions, they can't answer them because they don't have anything to measure their work against. So with all that said, folks, if y'all didn't know, I got a daily masterclass. It's called Work on Your Game. It's on all the podcasting apps, Apple, Spotify, SoundCloud. Y'all know where all those are. Look up my show. It is called Work on Your Game. It's on all the podcasting apps. Subscribe to that show. It comes out every day for free. It's about 20. Every episode is about 20 minutes-ish. Some of them longer, some of them shorter. But it's just me talking. I don't have guests on the show. So y'all want to get game like this, what I just gave you, every single day, go to the Work on Your Game Masterclass. Again, look it up on your favorite podcasting apps. Comes out every single day, free of charge. And if you want to get my daily motivation text that I send out for free every single morning, just text me at this number that I just put in the comment section, 305-384-6894, free every single day. How can you get the email from me? Go to workonmygame.com. So if you want to get my emails that I send out free every day, damn near every day. Yeah, I send out a lot of emails. Probably 5 days a week at minimum. Go to workonmygame.com. That's where you get the emails. So if you want to get on my email list, that's where you go, workonmygame.com. But if you text me as well, I'll send you a link in the text that says, hey, here's how you get my emails. So that number is 305-384-6894 for the daily motivation. And workonmygame.com is where you get the emails. And when you're ready to work with me directly, and get into our program that is all around mindset, strategies, systems, and execution. Mindset, strategies, systems, and execution is the accountability to make sure that you execute consistently, the systems so that you're doing it over and over again, the strategy so you have a clear game plan, and a mindset to actually put the stuff to work. All of that is at workonyourgameuniversity.com, which is the link in my bio. If you're on Facebook, is in the pinned comment link. If you're on Instagram, is the link in my bio. Is also the link in the pinned comment here in this live. So workonyourgameuniversity.com. All right, everybody. So we are wrapping that one up. I got some work to do. I quicken my pace as well, get things done. So everybody have a great rest of your day. I gave y'all all the places y'all can go to take your next steps. Work on your game. Got it.